Hello, good morning. You're watching Market Cafe on ET Now with me, Snehi Shah. Let's kickstart the show then by looking at the global handover before we delve into some stock-specific news and also tell you what brokerages are flagging off for us bright and early this Wednesday morning. But before that, let's kickstart with what the global handover looks like. I'm going to take you through what Wall Street did yesterday. While stock futures were little changed last night, the Nasdaq rose to a fresh record high. Yesterday, the Nasdaq popped 0.6% to a record high and closed above the 17,000 threshold for the first time, fueled by a nearly 7% jump coming in Nvidia itself. Nvidia and Nasdaq both seem to be on a gaining spree these days. The tech-heavy index was an outlier, however, as the S&P 500 edged higher by just less than 0.1%, so very flat moves coming over there. The Dow, however, has slid lower by 0.6%, dragged by decline in the Merck shares. Still, the major averages are on track to close the month with impressive gains, partly propped up by the enthusiasm about a better than expected quarterly earnings season. The S&P 500 is up 5.5% this month, while the Dow has advanced 2.7% as well. The Nasdaq, however, has outperformed both of those indices by a wide margin, and it's up 8.7% for the month of May. The gains arrive even as traders have lowered their expectations for Fed Reserve rate cuts. Now, indeed, Fed fund futures trading data suggests a nearly 54% chance that rates will hold steady in September. According to the CME Fed Watch tool, investors are looking to the personal income and expenditures report for April, which includes the PCE inflation reading or personal consumption reading out on Friday as well. So that's broadly what the US markets were doing. And let's also take a look at what the dollar index was up to. Dollar has rebounded, and the US bonds, now that's an interesting move coming over there as well, because the bonds, the 10-year treasury yield has risen above that 4.5% mark yet again, following a weak auction that took place in bonds. So that's the handover coming in from the American markets. Let's also quickly shift focus and take a look at what Europe was doing. It's a sea of red across European markets. DAX is down 0.5%, FTSE down almost 0.8%, and the Pan-European Stock 600 index has also closed lower by 0.6%. So, stable handover coming in from the US markets. Nasdaq outperforming its peer indices, but European markets, that's where the shade of red is coming from. But now Vinny is also joining us in the studio. Vinny, good morning. Also take us through what's happening in the world of oil.
Good morning. And what's happening in the world of oil? Because overnight we saw crude oil prices jump as much as 3%. Now also managing to hold on to some bit of a pricing in terms of 0.3% uptick that we're still seeing for the crude oil prices. So we're going to be keeping an eye out on that. As of now, the main reason for that is that, what is keeping the hopes and increase in terms of the crude oil prices is the OPEC meet. That's what everyone is watching out for. Other than that, in terms of the demand pickup that one could see because of the travel season in the US market, the summer season is there. So that is what everyone is watching out for. Now, according to what analysts or traders are expecting from the OPEC meet is that production cuts will be in place. Maybe that is something they will keep a close eye on. And other than that, let's not forget those renewed tensions that actually it's the continued tensions in the Middle East is something that is keeping crude oil prices a bit on the higher side, and that volatility around that is something that's keeping crude oil a bit perked up. Whether you look at WTI crude oil or the Brent crude oil prices, both are perked up in trade today. WTI crude oil at $80 per barrel mark, while Brent crude oil at around 84.5, so around the $85 per barrel mark. Let's